Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Muggle with a Mic. Today's a very special episode where we are joined by Dr. Wheatie. You can hear him on previous episodes of Muggle with a Mic breaking down movie medical scenes as well as television scenes in our segment called Doctor's Lounge. Today he was kind enough to join us for a full episode breaking down movie scenes from Christmas movies. So let's get started.
Remember, the opinions and content expressed in Christmas with Dr. Wheatie episode is the sole possession of Dr. Wheatie and do not reflect the thoughts of Katie, Phil, or Muggle with a Mic. The contents of the Doctor's Lounge are not intended as medical advice and should not replace an actual visit with a medical professional. Any portrayal of any person's real or living is purely coincidental.
All right, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Muggle with a Mic. Katie here, and this is a very merry episode of Muggle with a Mic. Phil's here with me for our Christmas episode. Hey, Phil.
Hi, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We have a very special guest. Now, you've heard his voice before.
Is it Santa? Is it Santa? I know him.
What's your favorite color? No, it's our resident medical expert, Dr. Wheatie. Hi, Dr. Wheatie.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Katie. Hello, Phil.
We're so excited to have you on here. You've listened to a few of our episodes, correct?
Listen to, I think, about all of them. Most of them.
What's one that stands out to you? As
I still think of the Kaja Gugu thing. Still bothers me.
I knew that.
I think it was the first one I ever listened to, and I believe was it a quiz? Phil was asking you a question. I think Kaja Gugu was one of the options. And you're like, yeah, it's not even a real name. You made that up. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then I remembered there's this age thing.
Yeah.
That Kaja Gugu was actual band. I remember that one.
You remind me of that all the time.
I do.
Grief for it all the time.
I do. And then I just remember always yelling at the radio, or I listen in my car. I listen to the podcast in my car. And some of the quiz things and some of the things you guys talk about. I'm like, nah.
Oh, and let's. I know I got it wrong. I re-listened to it. I realized I misspoke. But Tecumseh is a member of the Shawnee Indian
tribe. Yeah, that was one I was yelling at you about.
Yes, and I apologize. I mean, retrospectively, of course I know, but I did misspeak. I know. We've got Shawnee University down here, so yeah, I should have known that.
Yeah. So, and then I told you I had this story. I have the relative who was adopted into the Indian tribe story also in my family, and because you mentioned that somebody in your family was adopted into an Indian tribe, then I started thinking maybe that's just like a standard thing in family lore. Everybody's got somebody that was adopted.
Well, and
Indians, so. We
had that where we said we thought we had Native American blood, and we couldn't find it, and then I found that story, so that must be where the rumor started. Yeah,
right.
So. Ancestry, DNA. What is that?
.com, ancestry.com.
Oh yeah, Ancestry.
23andMe.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Speaking of 23andMe, you can find like your health ailments and things that run in your family on that too.
Yeah, I think so. A lot of that stuff. Yeah. And then if you've ever killed someone, they can find you somehow. Have you heard, like, there's people keep getting caught for murders because their family members had like DNA testing and they traced it back to them, and look at it. It's true.
It's very true. But then also if you get murdered, they can find, so it's good and bad.
Yeah.
I always thought, what did they do before the 80s when they had discovered like DNA and were able to, must have been a lot harder to solve crimes.
A lot of it was circumstantial evidence, I think. And blood type. I think when they discovered blood types, it became a great big thing too. So I was actually just listening to another podcast.
How dare you?
Called Little Things or something like that. Little Things. And they were talking about that, about the DNA thing. So.
Yeah, it's neat. Hey, I just realized I should take this little thing off. But we can get into our mugs. So we've done our introductions. I'm Katie. We've got Phil. We've got Dr. Wheatie. So let's go reverse order and look at everyone's mug. So Dr. Wheatie, what's your mug for today? Bah humbug.
Now, Ray Dunn, I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with Ray Dunn, your listeners with Ray Dunn, but everything in this house is Ray Dunn. We have like thousands of mugs listed with whatever I want. I can walk. And then everything in the kitchen is labeled flip, stick, stir, twist, flour, sugar, candy, spice, etc. So I even got these too. Grumpy Doc. Yeah. So that was my backup plan, but I went with Bah Humbug.
I teased one of the techs up at one of the other sites. They love Ray Dunn, and I just made fun of her all the time. Not because I think Ray Dunn's silly, but just because she had so much of it. And so for a housewarming gift, she got me something with Ray Dunn, and it was hilarious, and I love it.
Yeah, everything in this house. It's a very distinct font. People know their Ray Dunn font. Yeah. So.
Bah humbug.
Yes.
Philip, what's your mug, sir?
I'm opting actually for a travel tumbler. It's the new Turvis Hogwarts Happy Christmas.
Nice with the crest on there.
Yeah, the crest. I'm not sure. We were having a discussion about this. I'm not sure if they do a different house color every year, if it's just green because it's Christmas. So I don't know. I guess it'd be Slytherin. I'd be interested to see like next year if they make it red or yellow or blue.
Multicolored.
But it is very nice.
Very nice, yeah. It looks more teal Christmas here. Yeah.
Well, it's Slytherin colors. It's green. But I am wearing house colors, so.
Oh, yes, Hufflepuff and slightly Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, mine has a tie-in to Christmas, but it also doesn't look like Christmas. It's a 6 Meet the Musical mug. So it's based off of the 6 Wives of Henry VIII. And do you know what he gifted his second wife, Anne Boleyn? He gifted the composing of the song Greensleeves. Oh, there you go.
Is that the What Child Is This song? What Child?
Yes.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yes. And then he gifted her with separating her head from her body.
I was going to say, I thought there was something about
French,
that.
A French master swordsman?
Yes.
So it'd be painless?
Yeah. So I guess that could be another Christmas injury, but but yeah. So I went and saw it in Cleveland, and it was awesome, and I loved it. So there you go. All right, guys, let's get into Christmas stuff. Let's talk about the top 7 injuries. All right, so these are the top 7 injuries in real life. So what do you think is one of the top 7 injuries?
Heart attack.
Is it on there? Or are these like physical injuries?
I think they're more physical, yeah. Yeah. Well,
so
technically a heart attack is physical. It's your...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Is there like a slipping on the ice hip fracture?
I believe there is one of those.
Are we talking like mechanisms, like slipping on the ice? Or are we talking... Okay.
Choking.
Yes. So slipping on the ice is not on here. I would have thought.
How about
there's
icicle to the eyeball?
Not as often as you'd think.
That's a little suspicious.
There is a fault. Number 1.
I'm gonna say dog bite. All them puppies under the tree.
In the gift boxes?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you go to urgent care or ER for nips from puppies, do you?
Oh, man, you'd be surprised. Yeah, we get some. Okay,
so there isn't a fall on ice, but the number 1 related injury is a fall-related injury during decorating.
Yes, I was going to say like putting lights up or off of a ladder or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How about burns?
There is...
Survey says...
No? Gosh, this is tough. Electrocution.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Fires is number 3.
Okay, burns. Yeah.
that's with decorations. So cooking, baking, that kind of stuff. But, you know.
Electrocution, not on there.
Nope.
Paper cuts.
There is cutting yourself is number 6. With a knife while opening packages is what they say.
That's a common one. Yeah.
So, Dr. Wheatie, what's the best way to open a package with a knife? Or should you use a different object?
Just be careful. Just knives will work. Just don't pull it. Watch where the knife's going to go. Like, don't pull it at you or have your hand down and pull it across your hand. Or just take your time and watch where the knife's going.
I will say I have a vivid memory one Christmas of we got squirt guns. My sister and I got the same squirt gun, and they have those thick plastic things on there keeping it in the package.
Yes.
And Dad got his pocket watch out, or his pocket knife.
That's a pretty good trick.
And he cut his hand really bad.
Yeah, because you're not watching where my oldest son, I remember he was 10 or 11, had a box, was holding it against his chest, had the knife and was like torquing it at himself, like really hard. Oh. And I like scratched, I said, stop. And he's like, what? And I said, where's that knife going to go when it slips? He's like, oh. You just got to watch. Just watch where your body parts are and be careful.
Watch where your body parts are.
It's just a good rule for life.
I'm going to quote you on that.
Right.
All right. Any other ones?
Allergic reactions.
Yes. Food and alcohol related issues.
Yes.
So
out there eating that fruit cake. It had a peanut in it. You didn't know. Or a shrimp or something.
Shrimp.
That's
number 7. And then, so we got number 6, cutting yourself. We got fires, number 3. So we're missing number 2 and number 4 and 5.
2, 4, and 5. And these are holiday related.
I guess number 2 could also be the knife thing because it's toy related injuries.
Yeah.
It says toys are supposed to bring smiles, not tears, but in 2020, emergency department staff across the country treated almost 150,000 toy-related injuries among children age 14 and younger.
Yeah. Seen it. I wonder if that means like putting toys in your nose and your ear, and we do that a lot. Or get stuff out of noses and ears a lot. So.
What's the most unique item you've pulled out of a nose?
Unique is it's hard to say unique. The foil wrapper from Rice Krispie treat was interesting because you could look up in there. I'm like, what is that? And you pull it. Oh, it's a Rice Krispie treat wrapper. The best though was this wad of gum. It was this big around. This kid had taken apparently a whole pack of gum, chewed it up, and just kept sticking it in there. So, because the problem was it was so warm, you just grab it and it just like makes like a string, and so you just get
as one will do.
Yeah, right. Stick it up your nose. So,
but toy wise, magic trick. It just kept on coming and coming and coming.
It did.
How about broken toes?
Broken bones, frostbite.
Well, it doesn't have toes or anything, but it says a strained back and neck.
Lifting stuff. I figured, all these toys on the floor, someone's going to find them with their toes. Yeah, Legos.
And the last one we didn't get is number 5, which is automobile accidents. About 600 people die on the road in the United States during the days surrounding Christmas Day. Drive safe, people.
Yes.
Wear your seatbelts. Okay. We'll do that. Now, as for movie injuries, which movie do you think has the most injuries in the entire film? Like, for the character?
Like Christmas-related movies, right? I was thinking about that because you mentioned that in the outline that you sent. And for a holiday that's supposed to be so, peace on earth, goodwill to men, merry and bright, it's like Christmas movies are loaded with violence and injury, and just it seems to be kind of part of the whole genre.
Does Die Hard count?
Die Hard does count. Yeah, go
It
ahead,
does?
have that debate.
I just Die Hard's a movie. Die Hard is an action movie that takes place during Christmas holiday. That's my opinion. But if it
I was just going to say, you always have those outlier movies that you're going to consider Christmas to you. That's not going to be.
That's not to others. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's because it's just not the focus. Oh, you could even say Home Alone, because it wasn't really. I guess it was kind of focused on Christmas, the whole church scene and everything. But yeah, Die Hard would be a big one. The one that I just watched recently and was told you about it, Katie, was The Violent Night. I mean, it's almost cheating. You know, it's like, I would think that would have to be it, but it's almost cheating because the whole premise of the movie is death and destruction. So,
I mean, it's in the title.
Yeah. So,
did you like Violent Night?
I did. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to, because I thought it was going to be a horror movie. And it just kept popping up on my Fire Stick, kept pushing it over and over. And I said, oh, yeah, fine. My wife's not home. She's not big on horror movies and stuff like that. I thought, I'm just going to watch this, thinking it was a horror movie. And I liked it. I enjoyed it. More of an action. It
like had a message to it.
Yeah,
I didn't expect it to be as entertaining because I don't like horror films.
Right.
And it's not horror. It's an action film.
It's more of an action film. And it's got a little comedic sort of.
Who knew that Santa used to be a Viking warrior?
That's what I was about to say. He was a Viking, wasn't he? Because I was like trying to think, St. Nicholas, wasn't he like Eastern European, or was he
Nordic?
Nordic. Okay.
But
yeah.
Well, and he had all those tattoos. When I saw those tattoos he had on, I was like, "Whoa, Santa!"
Yeah, and then he gets the hammer. I'm like, "Oh,
what was his hammer's name? Skull Crusher.
There you go. I was gonna look it up. Yep.
Skull Crusher.
That's pretty good. So you said Who said Home Alone for the most?
I said Home Alone.
Home Alone. I would think that would have to be Home Alone. Yeah.
Yep.
Because then I started thinking about it. I started thinking, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation was up there somewhere.
So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th with 10 injuries, and Home Alone has 43.
Yeah. Home Alone. And then that's back to The Violent Night. Didn't the girl copied from Home Alone to make the booby traps? So that was good.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That scene had me cringing.
Yeah. The attic stairs. That was, even I'm kind of like,
How would you treat that? And could someone survive that? I would assume they could.
Yeah, you mean this? Yeah, that's easily survivable. You would just have to make sure that they're, do your assessment, make sure they're breathing, make sure they're not, bleeding out. There's really not a major blood vessel in there, so it wouldn't be a massive amount of blood. But make sure they're not bleeding out. And honestly, I don't know, depending on the wound, I don't know if there'd really be much to it. I don't know there'd be much. You could put a couple stitches in there. They would probably need a tetanus shot and a little antibiotic and a good follow-up with an ear, nose, and throat doctor. But honestly, it wouldn't be that bad of an injury.
Yeah, because it's not messing with your jaw.
Yeah,
really.
There's not much. Yeah, there's not too much critical right up through there. So, yeah.
Anyway.
It's cringy.
Well, I don't even like getting my blood drawn, let alone that happening.
Yeah. But I was like, Home Alone definitely would have to be number one by far. And I started thinking Christmas Vacation has a lot of injuries. But you said it was how far down?
It was 6. They have 10 injuries, while Home Alone has 43.
All right. Are they counting Die Hard? Because then Die Hard would be up there.
Die Hard has 20 injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
the glass and
my question is, can you really get soap poisoning?
No. Not these days. No, there's nothing.
Christmas Story. It was. No. Can you go blind from soap poisoning?
No, it was soap poisoning.
This is like you're.
I told you not to use Lifebuoy.
You're ruining this for parents who tell their children these things.
As long as the kids don't hear it.
Yeah.
We should put a spoiler at the beginning.
I don't hear much kids getting their mouths washed out with soap these days. I never did.
Heck, kids nowadays eat Tide Pods. I mean, come on.
They do it on purpose. Yeah. So no, I don't believe you can go blind or be poisoned by soap. But
Oh, well, we thought at one point, but the only other one that had more than Die Hard, and it was 30 injuries in Jingle All the Way. Elf had 17. Scrooged had 9. Christmas Chronicles had 8. And It's a Wonderful Life had 7.
That's on, like, it's Christmas movies are just, there's like a whole thing about injuries in Christmas movies. And it's just kind of odd that when you think about it, because it's like peace on earth and all these injuries. You say It's a Wonderful Life had 7?
Mm-hmm.
What were they? I don't even remember what they were. Because I know he was going to commit suicide at the beginning. That's why,
Let me look it up.
And Jingle All the Way is the Arnold Schwarzenegger Turbo Man or
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, these are, I'm not sure. The thing doesn't say specifically, it just says how many they have. Yep.
So I consider Lord of the Rings Christmas movies.
Yeah.
So,
that's a lot. There'd be a
And
lot. I mean,
they
like,
came out, we saw them. Yeah, they came out at Christmas.
Mhm.
And it just seems to me always.
yeah, you're talking like hundreds of thousands of injuries during Lord of the Rings.
Lots of death.
Boom. Yeah, just the wave goes over and
All right, let's get into your breakdowns, Dr. Wheatie.
all right.
So we're going to go in whatever order you'd like to go in. What we did was we each picked 2 scenes from Christmas movies, and we asked you to break down medically the scene.
Right.
I'm going to try to bring them up also on video, so just let me know which one we're doing.
Whichever one you think. What order were the Home Alone one was fine. It was good.
Okay.
Or
I'll bring the Home Alone one up, and I'll just have it playing in the background because, again, it's a lot of injuries.
yeah.
So it'll just play there, and you let me know what you're thinking.
Okay.
Here we are. So it's Harry and Marv that are getting injured.
Yes.
I would wager to say that like half of these weren't survivable.
A lot of them were pretty rough. Now the BB gun, I'm wondering if that actually would have penetrated, because that would have been a whole different, if the BB actually penetrated
Like
his
that, you
skin.
have a broken back.
Yeah. And the thing too about that fall like that and landing on your back is hitting the back of your head. You're going to get a concussion and a possible skull fracture. The back itself, landing flat like that, you might be able to survive, get away with just, some muscle and sprain sort of injuries. Definitely get x-rays and stuff. But falling back like that, flat on your back, I was trying to see if he actually hit his head on the ground.
He does.
That's...
He got the corner of the steps.
Well, and that's, on the second fall, when he caught the corner of the steps, you're actually going to get your spine kind of folding a little bit, or at least the little spinal processes on the back of your spinal bones could get crunched. There's a lot of pain there.
So like that one, the movie's done there.
Yeah. And I think
he ain't going to be worrying about
just movies in general. Movies in general have this thing about head injuries. I was thinking about it in terms of like Rocky. My son got into Rocky movies there for a while, and I, one of those hits that Rocky took to the head or the face would have done major damage, and he took like 50 of them. So it's almost like head injuries in movies. You gotta I always say I gotta kind of suspend my medical knowledge. Because you're right. I mean, that one fall, and he's not going to get up and go back at it, after that one fall. So,
yeah.
So,
ow.
Yes.
Oh, he's going to need some Tylenol.
Yeah.
All
the
right,
burn.
The burn.
Yeah, the burn, that wouldn't be too bad. To me, just looking right off after when they show the M on his palm, it's probably a 2nd-degree burn. It's going to be painful for a while. And the amount of time that he had to the burn, he actually didn't do obviously you're outside. The first thing you do is stick your hand in the snow. It's not necessarily the smartest thing to do because, there's a more thermal injury from the cold. You want to do like lukewarm water, like lukewarm or tepid water, rather than
Mm-hmm.
stick ice on it, because the ice is just another form of thermal injury.
Interesting. So he
yeah.
made a bad situation worse, probably.
Yeah, a little bit, not awful.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you can look, and when you look right there, I think he's probably got a 2nd degree burn. First degree burns like sunburn, you get red. 2nd degree burn is a blister. 3rd degree is where you actually get like charred tissue. It's kind of full thickness through the hand. If that's a 3rd degree burn, even then he may need some grafts and such, but it's going to heal up okay.
So it's not going to heal like stiff.
Not, especially if it's a 2nd degree burn.
Okay.
He wouldn't. I mean, in a few weeks he won't even know he did it.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So he won't have an M there all the time.
No, maybe like if he knows it and he's able to look at it, he could maybe see it, but it wouldn't be like an obvious brand.
Yeah, because one time I had like a cast iron skillet in the oven,
Mm-hmm.
pulled it out, stuck it on the top, forgot, grabbed the hold of it. I had the outline of the paint. I mean, the hand. But you can't see it anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
My daughter, I remember my daughter when she was younger, 3 or 4, we had a gas stove or a gas fireplace, and we had turned it off, but the glass part was still hot, and she kind of toddled up to it and went boop, put both of her hands on it, and both of her hands were one gigantic blister.
Oh,
And
my word.
I remember my wife at the time freaking out. I'm like, it'll be fine.
That's healthcare people. They don't freak out as much as
it is. Yeah, my kids have friends who be like, "It's so cool that your dad's a doctor." And I'm like, no, it's really not. He doesn't really get too concerned about anything.
He's just dad.
Just that. Yeah, you'll be fine.
By the way, I forgot my shirt. It goes with the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You filthy animal. All right, on to the next injury after they've already had a head
Yeah.
trauma.
And then now this burn might be a little more significant, but why is he just standing there? Why does he just stand there and scream? Like, wouldn't you flinch or move? But anyway,
Shock, maybe?
That's because he stands there. That might be more of a significant burn. Once again, to the scalp isn't going to cause too much trouble other than, needing some grafts. Probably he's going to not have any hair after that in those particular areas.
The toboggan won't help at all?
I'd almost wonder if the toboggan would hurt, because if it's like a nylon, I don't know if it's a nylon or something that actually more melts rather than just burns. It's going to actually like melt into his head. There'd be a lot of, you have to get out the little tweezers and get a lot of threads and burnt toboggan out of his head. So burns, the big problem with burns are they get infected. So, you treat them, they don't get infected. Massive burns over your whole body, you actually can get dehydrated because you lose so much fluid. That's why you end up in burn units, IV fluids and covering up. Plus, you always worry about bigger burns if it goes like around, like if it goes all the way around, we call them circumferential. So if it goes all the way around your finger, all the way around your arm, that's when it heals. If it heals and it contracts, it can cause problems with stiffness and motion and circulation and all that. So, So scalp, it's going to hurt, and he may need some cosmetic treatment, but I think he's okay. And I think he would be better if he would have just not stood there. But I know it's the movie, the comedic effect. But doesn't he run out and then he runs out and sticks his head in the snow?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he does the same thing again.
Yeah, it runs right out and just creates, I kind of see. So what you would do.
Would his hair grow back? What? Would his hair grow back?
Probably not. I mean, it depends on how thick the burn is. Once again, 2nd degree burn, probably, because that's just the very superficial epidermis, the outer layer. It would grow. Like I said, a few weeks, you don't even know it happened. Full thickness burn, no, his hair's not going to grow back.
No hair.
So, and it probably would grow back in weird, odd, patchy things.
Ooh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Which you just probably want to shave.
You just it's easy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is the feathers in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that right away is dangerous because he can't breathe.
Yeah, it's not a toy. Plastic graft is not a toy. Is there much? I mean, other than there was glue on the plastic or like
because when he
pulled
pulled it off, his face was sticky.
Yeah. So depending on what type of glue, chemical burn, if it got in his eye, more than anything, it's just how are we going to get all these feathers off of him? What's going to be we use acetone and things like that whenever you have glue, things stuck together or glued. So, but I don't think from no major injury there.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Just funny.
Yeah.
This is another fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing. These falls, he took that one pretty good. Landed mostly on the back. Yeah. Kept the head up. Yeah. Kept the head up and rolled. Wasn't a big impact there.
Okay. This is him getting hit in the stomach because of the spider.
Yeah. He hit him pretty hard. Maybe possibly ruptured something. I think you'd once again
break a
probably
rib?
More of a contusion to the abdominal wall. It looks like he got him in the stomach. So
yeah, well, it looks a little higher up though. Could he?
Might if he got him in the sternum. Yeah, in the sternum. He maybe broke his sternum. Hit him hard enough and push the rib in and give him a punctured lung or. But he seemed to get up okay and move around after, so I think he's probably okay.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah,
the spider's okay for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. See, this is a long one.
Yeah. The BB gun. We kind of skipped over the BB gun on the first one. Mm-hmm. Because BB guns I see not a lot, especially these days. BB guns don't seem to be as popular the toy.
He could have shot his eye out.
Could have shot his eye out. Absolutely. And BB guns will penetrate skin. You get BBs in you and you get shot at a reasonably close range. That's why the first injury where he got shot in the crotch, that BB might have went in there somewhere. And you typically don't take them back out. Usually BB guns that are pretty deep, injuries that are deep that you can't really just see real superficial and just grab it. A lot of times you just leave it in there. Because your body doesn't react to. It's a rule of thumb. Tell patients if it was something that was ever alive. So if it's a splinter or wood or a thorn or something that was alive in the past, even toothpicks, your body doesn't do well with that. So you get something like that stuck in you, it's pretty much got to come out. But if it's never been alive, like a rock or a ball bearing, BB, metal, glass, rock, a lot of those you can just leave in there.
So you're saying my pet rock was never alive?
Oh, sorry, Phil.
Breaking kids' hearts on this episode.
Sorry, Phil. No, I know, and it actually reminds me of kind of a Christmas-related injury that I had. It's been years ago. We were packing to go on a trip, and I went out into the garage, and I was barefoot, and I stepped on the older Christmas bulbs were glass and pretty fragile, and I stepped on one and broke it, and had like maybe 2 or 3 little pieces of glass in my foot. But I knew because it was glass, it probably wasn't going to cause too much of a problem. So I literally just stomped on my foot like 3 or 4 times until it quit hurting, and just it hurt for a few days. I could feel it. So probably if you did a little
still
extra.
In there?
Yeah, it's probably still in there. Yeah.
We should ultrasound it.
Yes. And we should. And you know what? I'm going to have to give my disclaimer at the end because people are going to be like, well, I learned on Muggle with a Mic. If you get glass on your foot, you just stomp on it. So we'll have to say, this is not the opinion. This is not the opinion.
We'll do something at the end, and then I'll edit it and put it at the beginning.
Good.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
All right. The next one. So the BB will be fine. It'll just hurt in the moment.
BB will be fine. May or may not take it out.
BB-8.
As long as it's not in his eye. If it's in his eye, that's bad.
Oh,
probably lose the eye. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he's a pirate. All right. This is another falling injury.
Yep.
He's dead.
I've probably seen people in the urgent care that have done that. He's bumped and bumped and bruised and bumped and hurt. But I think he's okay.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he didn't hit his head. We saw that.
Yeah. Keep your head up. Remember.
Which one's this?
Crowbar falls into him. Is this where he's? Oh, because the ice, he can't stand up. That's right.
Oh.
Right. So he falls again, and then.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Probably a little laceration. Put some stitches in it. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'd be fine. Quit crowing about it.
Yeah.
That was bad. Oh, this one. So is the iron hot?
I don't even know that it would have mattered. I mean, the length of time that the iron came into contact with him, it probably wouldn't have mattered if it was hot or not. Just the force of the iron. Probably that's maybe a laceration needing some stitches. Probably a little concussion there, I would suspect.
Yeah. Well, he gets the iron spot on his face.
Yeah, another burn issue.
Yeah.
Lots of burns. Steps on a nail, which goes
here
into
we
his
go.
foot. Yep, puncture.
Oh, yeah.
Quiet place.
Oh, yeah. But not so quiet here. Because it's sticky, so it takes his socks off.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah. See, even I can't. I even have a hard time with those. Yeah, that hurt.
So he's got the foot injury, and then he falls. So which are you more concerned about, the nail?
The fall. Oh, the fall.
Okay.
Yeah, the fall. Interestingly enough, too, because he did not have shoes or socks on, he's actually better off. Mm-hmm. Nail puncture wounds through your shoe are more concerning because there's a lot of gross stuff that grows inside your shoes.
Well, you got dog poop on the bottom of your shoes.
Or the dog, right. So you basically just took and just injected that into your foot. All kinds of bacteria and dog poop and stuff. So you're better, if you're going to step on a nail, you're better off doing it barefoot.
Would it be helpful to plunge your foot into a bowl of Purell?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
But before you step on the nail,
you what?
He should have stuck his foot in the Purell before he stepped on the nail.
That would be yes.
Best case scenario.
Proactive.
Had he only known.
Instead of tar, it was just Purell on the steps.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Would have been much better off.
Oh.
But the nail, I'd be more worried about the fall.
Mm-hmm. And he gets up and walks, so you would be able to walk, it'd just be uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think by now too, and I've mentioned in the past about other episodes, is a whole adrenaline thing. I mean, I think they're so angry at this kid now that they're just, adrenaline helps, reduce pain, and you power through stuff when you want to get that kid.
True.
This is the doc right here.
Yeah, this is you.
Oh yeah.
He's just stomp on his foot a few times and be good to go.
I mean, that hurts.
So he's being a wimp here.
Yeah, just pull out a few of the pieces. If there's one stuck in there, just stomp on it until it. Once again, not actual medical advice.
Well, okay, so there's a lot more on here. Are there any other specific ones, or we'll move on?
No.
Yes.
Oh, what?
Yes. Yeah.
Which
you gotta
one?
have the one at the end where is that this one where he gets electrocuted? That's the best part. Or is that the second?
I think that's the second one.
Because
we've got the classic
skeleton.
Well, we've got the classic one with the paint can. The paint can.
Yeah, it must be the second one. He gets electrocuted and you just look over and he's a skeleton with hair sticking up.
Yeah, I think that's the second one.
Does that really happen when you get electrocuted?
No.
Oh,
no.
okay.
No, that would be. Yeah, that's like, I don't know. It instantly becomes like an X-ray of something.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I was electrocuted. Did I tell you the story of me getting electrocuted?
Mm-mm.
Long story short, I was home alone. Pardon the pun. I was like a freshman in college or something like that. Basement of the house was flooding. Yeah. I was trying to clean it up with the shop vac, and I, like a dum-dum, I'm standing in like 2 or 3 inches of water, and I plugged the shop vac in. When I plug it in, I felt it. I felt it all through my limbs. It felt like 5 seconds, but it was probably like a millisecond. And I felt it really strongly in my chest. And I immediately unplugged it and said, to heck with the house. I just went upstairs.
I thought you were going to say, well, I was cleaning up the basement and I was like really hungry. So I decided to make some toast and plugged in the toaster.
No, I wish that was it. I wish. All right, let me get the next one. We'll do Elf. How about that?
Yeah, I like that one.
All right. We got sound on this one. This was Phil's pick.
This is my pick.
What's your name? My name's Buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, raccoons are very cute until they do this.
Yes.
I just wanted a hug.
Okay, so what's going on? Break this down for us, Dr. Wheatie.
Well, I found this one interesting because honestly, in the eastern United States, raccoons are the second leading carrier of rabies, next to bats. Bats are by far the most concerning thing when it comes to animal bites. So obviously, an animal bite from a raccoon, unless you can capture the raccoon and have it tested, he's going to need rabies immunoglobulin. So literally, you inject the wound with immunoglobulin to head off any rabies infection, and then he would need a series of 4 rabies vaccinations. Vaccinations basically are telling your body to make immunoglobulins. Immunoglobulins fight infections, which is what rabies, viral infection. So most of us do not have immunoglobulins to rabies because we've never been exposed to rabies. Veterinarians and people that work with animals will get rabies vaccines. So the vaccine causes your body to make the immunoglobulins, but the key is as soon as you get the injury, you've got to get immunoglobulins. Unless if they can capture the raccoon, then they take his brain out and test him for rabies. So that would be the big thing, rabies. Interesting, dogs and cats, very, very rare anymore that they're rabid. I was looking at statistics over the last 5 years, and in Ohio, there was 200 and some odd animals that tested positive for rabies, and 180 of them were bats. And then, there was a few raccoons, and I think one cat in 5 years, and no dogs in 5 years that they've found to have
dogs
rabies.
are better.
Yeah.
Is that because people get their dogs
immunized? Yeah. I think it's the
immunizations.
Still, though, if you get bit by even a dog or a cat, if you can't find that dog or cat, you still may want to get treated for rabies, because the issue is, even though rabies is fairly rare, the problem is it's universally fatal. So if you get rabies, you are going to die. That's the problem. So you if you can't catch the animal to get it tested, or if you get bit by a bat, that's pretty much automatic. So, but yeah, I found that was interesting because
Meredith Palmer should have died in The Office.
Did she get? Oh, I know. Did she actually get rabies?
She got rabies. She was in the hospital because she got bit by the bat in the bag in the office.
Yeah, because I remember, didn't they have a benefit?
Rabies awareness. Yeah.
There are cases of people that survive. It's 99.9% fatal. So she's a statistic.
Michael tried to help. Dwight tried to give money to bat birth control.
Right. Yeah. So bats are the worst. You get bit by a bat, you're in trouble. But interestingly enough, raccoons on the East Coast, I believe, raccoons are number 2.
Wow.
Out west, I believe it's skunks or possums, I believe, out west. So interesting.
Dolphins.
So it's Guardians.
Rabid dolphins. You go.
It's the Guardians of the Galaxy's fault for making us like raccoons better, and maybe there's an uptick in.
Here's an interesting fact: possums. Aren't they pretty much immune from getting rabies? Possums.
No, they can. I believe they carry rabies. I believe they are.
I thought they were an animal, but I know they said it's rare. I thought.
Yeah,
it
would be. I would assume it's rare. Ones that we don't worry about hardly at all are mice. People come in and say, "Oh my gosh, my son got bit by a mouse." We're good. We're fine. Mice, rats, squirrels, chipmunks. We don't worry too much about those. Once again, never hurts to get evaluated, though.
Any mammal can get rabies, but it's extremely rare for a possum. It's believed that their low body temperature may inhibit the virus and make it difficult for it to survive.
There you go.
And they eat ticks.
They eat ticks?
I think they eat ticks. Yeah, they're very beneficial. People,
but they're ugly.
Cute. People think they're ugly, but I think they're kind of cute.
Yeah. Huh.
They tick me off. No, I'm trying.
And he would need Buddy would need a tetanus shot too. Anytime you get bit by an animal, if your tetanus isn't up to date, you need a tetanus shot.
I bet you he hadn't had a tetanus shot being in the.
I bet he hadn't for a while.
I got bit by a stray cat, and I got a tetanus shot right after. So.
Yep.
Did you get a rabies? Rabies?
Did you get a rabies vaccine?
I can't remember. That was it was probably like 10 years ago. I can't remember. They gave me stuff. I don't know what they gave me. All right, next one. How about we do a Christmas story?
Yeah.
Oh, also mine.
Yes, also yours. Ignore the ad, please, people.
Okay, Black Bart. Now you get yours.
Don't shoot your BB gun at sheet metal.
Yeah. Ping.
Yep. Oh my God! Shot my eye out.
I mean, he was warned the whole movie.
Yeah.
You be careful out there. Don't shoot your eye out.
You got to listen to your mom, kids.
Yes. So it hit it. Okay. I was wondering. I remember that now. It hit his glasses.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have the wound. Once again, BB. Right in that area, there's not a lot of deep. You'd probably end up taking that one out if it penetrated. But yeah, if he got hit right in the eye, you'll shoot your eye out. I mean, it'll penetrate your globe, and your eyeball would, almost like deflate, like fluid would come out, and your eyeball would deflate, and you'd probably lose your eye. I don't
Your
think
eyeball
there'd be much.
deflates?
Well, your eyeball, it's a ball, and it's full of fluid.
Yeah.
It's a fluid-filled ball. So you shoot that eye out, and that fluid just starts running out, and it would just kind of. So. It wouldn't be good.
You get a tire pump and pump it back up.
Yeah, I think you would. I think it'd be pretty much done. But yeah, the shooting the sheet metal. I was about 7 or 8 years old, and my friend had a BB gun, and we were walking around the neighborhood, and looked down over. I remember it was a bridge over a small creek, and I looked down there, and there was a piece of sheet metal laying down in the creek, and so I decided to shoot it, and that BB hit me right in the front tooth. Came right back and hit me right in the front tooth. I remember that.
Wait, so did it bounce off?
You shot your tooth out.
Did it bounce off, chip? Or
Yeah, it just bounced off my tooth. It didn't chip or do anything. I was pretty lucky. Just
Wow.
this much further, and I would have shot my eye out.
Drink your milk and brush your teeth, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drink your Ovaltine.
Be sure to drink a crummy commercial.
Is that a viable cover story though? An icicle fell?
No, see, that's when you were. There are reports. I mean, I've heard of icicles falling, killing people. In the cities where they're get these gigantic, 4 foot long, 20-pound ones that fall. But I'm surprised Mom wasn't a little more, didn't investigate this a little more. Like, okay, show me where this icicle fell, and where is it on the ground? Is it broken on the ground? Where is this icicle, Ralphie?
I think she was worried about the bumpus dogs and the turkey.
Well, the turkey, right? She was focused on the turkey.
There's a lot going on, yeah.
But yeah, she just took his word for it. Yeah, let's go. Let's wash that off with some soap. Got some soap in the sink.
Right after we wash your mouth out.
Yeah. But Ralphie was lucky. I'm glad he had his glasses on. Who knows what would have happened?
So wear your safety goggles if you're getting a BB gun for Christmas.
And don't shoot at sheet metal.
Yes. Don't shoot at sheet metal.
Yeah,
there you go. Another general life.
If you look at the layout, he could have hung the paper from that archway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or a tree branch or something.
Yep. And that's what exactly.
If he would have hung it from the archway, then he could have shot somebody behind it.
Yeah.
Need a nice hay bale or something to stop the projectile.
Yeah.
True.
Shoot somebody else's eye out.
Yeah.
So a question: there's a shed back there. Had he hung it from the awning, and then it went back and hit the shed, that wouldn't bounce back. He could shoot.
I think it'd be a little less likely. I mean,
I've seen that shed.
Pretty much.
Have you been there?
In real life?
Have you been there, Doc?
No, I know it's Cleveland, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've not. I need to check it out sometime. Yeah, apparently, you can stay there, but it's booked out years. I've heard you can stay there.
Oh, like a Airbnb?
I may be wrong, but I think you can.
think we lost Phil.
Oh no.
He shot his eye out with a BB gun. All right, we'll go ahead and do these last few scenes. Everyone, FYI, we lost Phil. His internet went down. So Dr. Wheatie and I are just going to go over the last few scenes, and then we'll do a Christmas game, and hopefully Phil will log in at some point. All right, we're going to do, this was my pick.
Yeah.
It was Jingle All the Way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the scene where it's basically like Black Friday, but they're trying to get the Turbo Man. And my question is, how accurate is this reaction to pepper spray?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he gets sprayed. It's a pretty good spray, pretty close. Mm-hmm. He seems to tolerate it really well. Which could be, it all depends on the spray that Sinbad was using. Because they come in like various concentrations, or you get a cheap one off of the internet somewhere and you don't get it. Yeah, I mean that's it. But see, he's almost instantly can open his eyes. Almost instantly. If you play it just a little bit longer, he almost instantly can open his eyes and keep going. Like right. He was just having a little bit. He was fighting it, but like right. Yeah, see, he's not having too much trouble at all. So, yeah, there's multiple reasons for that. Now, basically, pepper spray is called pepper spray because it's got capsaicin in it. Capsaicin is the chemical that makes hot peppers hot. The interesting thing about capsaicin is, in your mouth, it basically triggers the receptors that feel temperature. So your brain literally thinks that it's a temperature hot, and that's why it feels hot, but it's not. So that's why even though, you eat like a goat, like a massive hot pepper, it feels like you're doing damage to your mouth, but you're not. Same thing with the eyeballs. The eyes, it hits the receptor in the eyes that makes them think that they are being damaged. So your brain thinks, oh my gosh, my eyes are being damaged. So they start tearing, and you almost physically can't open your eyes.
Right. Because
you almost uncontrollably, not, reflexively keep them closed. But there's actually not much, they're not actually damaging your eye. There's some reports, people will get like abrasions of their cornea, the clear coating of your eye. You get abrasions, but that's almost always from you just start rubbing and scratching and digging at them. So the pepper spray itself doesn't damage the eye. It's just very irritating, once again, because your brain thinks that you're damaging your eyes because the capsaicin tricks your brain into thinking.
So is there a mental way to overcome that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember the scene. It was in an action movie, and I can't think of his name right off the bat. But this woman sprayed pepper spray, and the guy just sat there and laughed at her and smiled. And he grabbed it and then sprayed it in his mouth. From what I understand and what I read, you can't make the effect go away. Like, you will always feel it. Mm-hmm. It's just in your brain. People that repeatedly are subjected to it, because in like basic training in the military, they intentionally subject you to this. Mm-hmm. And I was reading about some of like the actual trainers or the sergeants that are training these people to do this, repeatedly subject themselves to this, and it almost always still is irritating. It's just mentally, you just know, I'm okay. So that's why I wonder if Arnold's character had actually had some mental training or something and knew, or he was just angry and he wanted the Turbo Man.
His
or
mind
whatever.
Wasn't even in
yeah,
it.
He was just already. But the other, even more plausible explanation is if Sinbad's character got like a cheap knockoff pepper spray and like the concentration was just nothing, that initially it's like, but he's okay. So,
and those have expiration dates on them, don't they?
Yeah. I would think it would like it would the capsaicin chemical would kind of,
because I got them when I would run out and about.
Yeah.
I got a pepper spray for while I was running, and it only lasted for like 2 years. Yeah.
I would think the compound would probably kind of denature or decompose a little bit. But yeah, so that was I like that scene too, because it's the whole concept of capsaicin is kind of interesting, how it tricks your brain into thinking that that your body's being injured, but it's really not.
So what would be your approach on Hot Ones? Do you know the show Hot Ones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I watch a lot. I enjoy it.
What would you do to withstand that? Bomb.
I don't know that there's much of any. I mean, because I've actually had Da Bomb. We bought it. I bought it and used it, and it is hot. But I don't even think that's the hottest. That's usually in the middle, and they keep going.
Yeah,
keep going after that. And I have tried. I'm not much of a milk drinker, but I've tried milk and ice cream, and I think they say that the milk a fat. You got to because water. Capsaicin being an oil, water just splashes it around. Now, granted, in your eyes, pepper spray in the eyes, it's a good idea to flush and get everything out of there. In your mouth, it's not really going to cool it much because it just kind of spreads it around. That's why they say fatty stuff like milk or ice cream or something kind of helps carry it away. But I'll say a lot of it when I eat stuff like that, I just in my mind, I kind of think, yeah, this feels awful, but it's not damaging. It's just, you're okay.
It's painful, but it's not with,
it's painful, right? Away. It's your brain is confused. You're not actually.
It's a moment in time. I can do this.
Yeah. Interesting. Kind of this time of the year, peppermint and mint. Oh. That actually triggers your cold sensors.
Yeah.
That's why when you eat mint, it's kind of like that cool sort of feeling. Once again, your brain thinks like that your tongue's freezing, but it's not. So that's why I don't know if you've ever eaten like a mint and then drank a cold glass of water right away. It actually hurts.
Oh yeah, or gum that's like that. Yeah,
like your brain already thinks that it's too cold and like damaged. So when you actually do drink a little cold water, it actually makes you think that your brain's thinking, "Oh my gosh, my mouth is literally freezing."
I've never seen anyone take that on Hot Ones. They should take some peppermints in or something.
They might. I wonder if that would. Well. Kind of going back to the whole burn thing, you're almost maybe like just compounding the problem. Your brain's like, am I burning? Am I freezing? And it's just
what the heck is going on?
Yes. So yeah, the pepper spray thing, I would explain that one more unless, was Arnold's past life, maybe if he was military or trained or something, but I'm thinking Sinbad got
he was the Terminator.
Yeah. I'm thinking Sinbad got a bad
bottle
of pepper spray.
Yep.
So,
still no luck for Phil.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do the next one. All right. So these next two are your picks. So we're going to do Violent Night.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier, but here, we'll watch the scene that we were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, he's smashing the glass ones, and then I love this song, too, in the background.
It's polar opposite. It's like Hot Ones. It's too cold, too hot.
Yeah. That, yes.
Oh.
Stuck the star in his eye.
It's not the same damage.
But the cool, right. And it's like the concept, a lot of people would probably look at that and say, oh, how is he walking around? How is he up and around? But it's kind of like I can't remember which episode it was where I did a Dr. Wheatie from the Doctor's Lounge. Now that makes sense. So. But it's kind of back when we did a Doctor's Lounge and the head injury. And I'm trying to remember because I brought up Phineas Gage, the railroad worker that had the rod shot through his head. He did fine. Well, this guy's got, it's penetrating a couple inches, but it's not hitting like vital parts of his brain. I'm sure it hurts. It's awful pain. Mm-hmm. But he's a trained paramilitary guy. So, I mean, he could still function with that. But then you think of the brain. I mean, obviously, it's probably penetrated to where his cerebrospinal fluid from around his brain is all gushing and leaking and everything. And I told you earlier, his eyeball, there's fluid in your eyeball. So as soon as you plug that in, that's gonna, yeah. So that actually, I kind of think that now. When he fell and his face caught on fire, I was a little. I don't think you're going to catch on fire. Maybe the hair. Maybe this sparked in the hair or something.
But it started in his eyeball. There's too much fluid there.
There's too much fluid. I don't think. But the whole thing was kind of realistic. I mean, you get that in your eye, he could keep functioning, and then when you plugged it in, it's like, oh. Yeah.
So my question is, it's stabbed in the eye. Okay, your eyes move together simultaneously.
Right.
Has he severed something where it doesn't matter? Like if his eyeball tried to move, is it just stuck there?
Yeah, it would
Okay.
still probably try to move. It just wouldn't be able to.
Gotcha.
His depth perception was probably off a little bit.
He probably lost half of his vision.
Right. Yeah, his left lateral peripheral vision was a little off, but
Would you order a carotid ultrasound stat for vision loss or no?
no, we know, right? He's got a, when he presents in front of me with a star stuck in his eye, complaining of vision loss in his left eye, I'm like, oh, here's your problem. you've got an ornament in your eye.
Okay, so other than him catching fire and being electrocuted and killed via the brain, would, if he walked in with that in his eye, don't take it out, right?
Not where I work. I'm not taking it out.
Well,
no.
yeah.
No.
I mean, in like
that would be
right
a
when
surgical.
it happens.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be on. Depending on how long that thing went in, it's actually penetrated into his brain cavity in his head. So you're talking major brain infections. You're talking loss of all the fluid around his brain, and so that's if he makes it to a hospital situation, he's going to the the operating room right away to get all that taken care of. I would be a little suspect that he would make it. I mean, he could function for a while, but I think pretty quick he's going to go down.
Ugh.
So,
I think he got the point. Get it?
yes.
But
Yes.
All right, and that one was really good. There were a lot of other ones that we talked about, the nail through here.
Yeah, the nail through the jaw. Very survivable.
That movie is like Home Alone, but for adults only.
No, it wouldn't recommend. Yeah, is it rated R? Was it rated R? I'm assuming it's rated R. Had to be rated R.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I can't imagine it, but it had a really good message, and I liked his magical bag because at one point, I think it's back here, he stabs him, and it stabs like a video game. I don't know where it's at. Because it's a magic bag. He just grabs in it and gets gifts. I'm trying to find it. I don't think. There it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. He just keeps pulling the gifts out.
Yeah.
I gotta find that song. It's like Mamacita. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but then the other neat thing was when he tapped his nose, he'd be shot up the chimney.
I know, because I did. I have this thing where I can kind of see things coming in movies. Sometimes it ruins it. I did not see that one coming. They're standing by that old chimney. I'm like, oh, okay. And then he taps his nose in them. And then as soon as they start getting sucked up in, I'm like, oh. And then he comes out with just like half of him up at the other. Yeah, that was good.
I did not. That. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I thought they both were just going to travel up, but then when you see, only Santa can do this safely.
Right. So, the bad guy didn't travel through the chimney very well.
He was on the naughty list. That's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, and the final one. Hopefully, Phil's internet might be fixed here soon. But the final one is yours, and you wanted to address the tongue on the poll.
Yeah, I had addressed this before back. I think was it last Christmas where we did the Office, the snowball or the snowman thing with.
With Dwight.
Yeah, and I'd mentioned this, and I had talked about I go back to this because it's true. This will happen. You got moisture on your tongue and you stick it to a pole and a cold enough pole, that moisture is going to freeze and it's going to stick to your tongue. The thing, I get aggravated because all he has to do is just cup your hands around it and just breathe. Yeah. Or the teacher, I can't remember what her name is, get a little cup of water and just pour it on there. You don't have to call the fire department. Yeah, let's call the fire department. He comes in with some big bandage on it. I think probably the fire department just kind of went 1, 2, 3 and yanked him off and probably took the tip of his tongue, not tip of his tongue off, but the layer, the top layer.
Would the tongue not get cold at some point, or is it always got that blood flow running through it that it's keeping it?
You mean like, would it get in like a frostbite injury or something? Yeah. I mean, if he stayed there long enough, the tip of his tongue is going to get like a thermal injury.
Yeah.
Mrs. Shields. Oh, come on, Mrs. Shields. Just get you a glass of water and go out there and free him up. Yeah, or just cup your hand.
Quit the music
and
lesson.
Breathe.
Look outside.
Yeah. But once again, the comedy effect was really good.
Oh, yeah. And it's a classic clip that everybody knows of.
Absolutely. So, but yeah, it's true. That would happen. But it's just so easy to
department.
fix. You don't have to call the fire department. So.
Oh, my word. The other thing is,
I think she takes the time to get her coat and everything.
I mean,
oh, no, she didn't.
She
didn't put her coat. Okay, I was thinking she put her coat on.
How many kids at school the following day that this movie came out?
I wonder. That's true. I wonder how many kids have done it.
And the problem is, like you said, this will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cold enough pull. Yeah, it'll happen.
Like, even the police and the fire department.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they didn't show it, but I guarantee they said, okay, son, 1, 2, 3, just yanked him off.
No ambulance then?
It doesn't appear. I don't know.
Or maybe they didn't have ambulances
they got him. Yeah, he's
in the
good.
50s. Oh.
He's good. So it's kind of a throwback to a previous episode of the Doctor's Lounge, but it's still, sometimes it just aggravates me. I'm just like,
Good throwback.
So easy to fix. So.
All right. Well, Phil's not back. So we'll just do, it's called Christmas charting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
I'm going to give you a chart with basic medical information, name, height, weight, blood pressure, heart rate. Mm-hmm. And you try to tell me what Christmas character it is.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll try.
You tell me if you can read it.
Mm-hmm. Room 1, 30-year-old male, 6'3", 90 heart rate. 30-year-old man. Is that Buddy the Elf?
It's Buddy the Elf.
Note: 8 cotton balls during exam.
Now I was going to read a little description for you, but you got it right away.
Oh.
But let me try to. I'll just get it and read it and see if now that you get an idea. That one would have said presents with confusion and disorientation. Excited demeanor, states diet consists of spaghetti with maple syrup, marshmallows, chocolate sauce, M&Ms, and Pop-Tarts.
Yes. So.
All right, this next one is a 57-year-old male, 5'5", 155 pounds, heart rate of 70, blood pressure 175/90. Mm-hmm. Patient extremely agitated at time of visit, appears to demonstrate conjunctivitis. Stiffened gait, walks with a cane, mumbling under his breath rude comments, states having visions of his past, present, and future. Patient refusing any care not covered by insurance.
Oh, Christmas Story guy.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yeah, Ebenezer Scrooge. I kept saying Bob Cratchit. I was going to say Bob Cratchit. So,
those are
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Those are most of them. But yeah,
Scrooge McDuck. Yeah,
he's an angry little guy.
Yes.
All right. Room 3. You've already seen 2 patients really quick.
I know. This is what I do.
It's very urgent. All right. Room 3 is a 35-year-old male, 6 foot, 185 pounds, heart rate of 90, blood pressure 145/70. All right. Get ready for this one.
All right.
Patient arrived to ED via squad. Upon initial observation, patient appears to have suffered hip contusion, possible pelvic fracture, concussion, possible skull fracture, epidural hematoma, shoulder fracture and dislocation, multiple rib fractures, third-degree burns, glass foreign bodies and tendon lacerations, orbital fracture, mandible fracture, zygomatic arch fracture, fractured larynx, possible collapsed lung, patient states injuries sustained within commercial building, and some while confined in a ventilation shaft.
That would be Bruce Willis. Is it Bruce Willis from
John McClane?
Yeah, John McClane.
Yes.
Yes. So.
How long would he be in the hospital after that?
A while, depending on his. I mean, 2 or 3 days. They tend to get you out. I mean, as long as they can, get his wounds all cleaned up, make sure he's not any infections. Make sure with the larynx and everything. Make sure he's breathing okay.
It is John
2 or 3
McClane,
days.
So
yeah, 2 or 3 days.
He's a fictional guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he went to the hospital after.
I don't think he did either. Didn't he get in the limo at the end and drive home, or left in the limo? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
tough guy.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, we have 8 characters. So this is room 4. All right. I have a feeling you might know this, but it's a female character.
Mhm.
33, 5'9", 127, heart rate 65, blood pressure 150/85. Patient arrived to urgent care with symptoms of anhedonia for 10 plus years. Patient informed nurse that she just recently separated from her boyfriend and is planning a trip to the United Kingdom. Would like to resolve before flying out.
Anhedonia. She's sad. Broke up with. Is this a Hallmark movie?
No, we didn't talk about that, though. Your love for Hallmark movies.
Chris, going to the United Kingdom. That one's not coming to me.
I will give you a clue. Anhedonia is lack of tears. I hope I'm saying it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is, let me get the little picture. Amanda Woods from The Holiday.
See, I wouldn't, don't know that one.
One of my favorite movies.
Sorry. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
Don't know that one. Yeah.
It's on all the streaming places. Yeah, watch it.
Okay. I will watch it.
What's the next one? Character 5, room 5. Unknown age, male. 6 foot, 260 pounds. Heart rate of 92, blood pressure 190/95. Patient arrived to the ED via sleigh, piloted by the North American Aerospace Defense Command program members. States he's not MPO, last meal of milk and cookies. Complains of back pain after fall off snowy roof. X-ray ordered and completed showing severe vertebral fracture. Replacement assigned at the time of injury. Possible workman's comp situation.
Right. It would be Santa Claus. Yeah.
From the Santa Claus.
From the Santa Claus, right.
Very good. There he is.
So, yes, fell off the roof. So one of my favorite little lines from any movie, especially Christmas movies, is the Rose and Suchek Ladder Company.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, from Santa Claus.
I forgot about that. It was on the side of it.
It was literally on the side because the kid was saying, yeah, it's a Rose and Suchek Ladder. And then when you looked, it said Rose and Suchek Ladder Company. Rose Suchek Ladder.
See, don't you love stuff like that?
I love little Easter eggs almost like that. I think those are really fun.
Yeah.
So that's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Well, that's one of my favorites too. I really wish I could taste the hot chocolate from that movie.
YouTube guy tried to recreate it. Binging with Babish. You ever watch Binging with Babish on YouTube? Check it out sometime. He recreates food and drinks from movies.
Nice.
Yeah, so Binging with Babish, he recreated his version of the hot chocolate from Santa Claus. So
it looks so like thick and chocolatey.
Yeah.
You know.
But she had been working on the recipe for 300 years.
She better it better be good, right?
Yeah.
All right. Room 7 or 6. I'm so sorry. Room 6. 84-year-old male, 6'2", 200 pounds, 215 heart rate, blood pressure 153/115. Patient arrived complaining of workplace bullying and abuse, not included in department activities. Upon examination, patient demonstrates rhinophyma. Patient's employer suggests a leadership role for patient may help with department morale.
The rhinophyma, he's got the big nose. 84 years old? We already did. Huh? That was 215 heart rate.
Think outside your clientele.
Think outside my clientele.
More like Gracie's.
Gracie's client. Oh. I'm not getting that one.
It's drumroll. Rudolph.
Rhinophyma. Why is he so old though? He's 84. I guess. Oh yeah. Doesn't get included. It all makes sense. It's amazing. It's so funny too when I'm listening to the other episodes on the radio or my in my car. I'm just like, I know I'm yelling the answers when it's live. It's like it's a lot more pressure.
On.
Yeah, the pressure's on. It makes sense now. Not being included in department, very good.
And also suggests a leadership role.
Yes, very good, very good.
Little Rudolph. All right, number 7. 45 male, 5'8", 174, 0 heart rate, 0 blood pressure.
Right.
Patient suffering from extreme hypothermia and frostbite. Like really extreme. Post-car accident, only articles of clothing are a hat and scarf. States he just wants to spend time with his son for as long as he can.
Now, was this... My first thing was Frosty the Snowman. Was it Jack? Was it Frost? Jack Frost.
Yes, Jack Frost.
Jack Frost. Yes. Oh, I know, because he was a snow. It was named Jack Frost, but it was a snowman. Yes, I remember that now.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's why his heart rate's 0.
Yes. Extreme hypothermia.
Like really extreme.
Yeah.
All right. Roommate, 2-year-old female, 2'3", 19 pounds, 50 heart rate, 110/60. Mm-hmm. Patient experiencing minimal signs of polydipsia during the night. States she witnessed a burglary in her home this evening, believing the thief to be Santa. Does not want to press charges. Began to sing in exam room.
Is it Virginia? Yes, Virginia. There is a Santa Claus.
Oh. I thought Virginia. Who's what's that Virginia Wolfer?
No. 2 years old. Mm-hmm. Polydipsia. She got thirsty, so she had to go down and get a drink and saw Santa. Why can't I think of who this is?
She thought it was Santa.
She thought it was Santa. Oh, Cindy Lou Who.
Cindy Lou Who.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes, got it.
And she's the last one.
Oh, well.
Yay.
I did pretty good.
You just missed Rudolph.
I think I would have beat Phil. Yeah, the 84-year-old threw me off. Yeah. But it all made sense. Rhino Fima not included in company. Yeah, that made sense now.
I had fun writing those up.
Those were good. Those were very good.
So. I Googled all the meanings. I didn't know. I wouldn't have known polydipsia. I wouldn't have known any of that.
Yes.
All right. Well, Dr. Wheatie, thank you so much.
No, thank you. I had a good time.
I'm glad. I wish Phil could have stayed on, but...
Yeah, I know.
That's what happens with technology.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have any final advice, words of wisdom, medically speaking, for our viewers for the holiday season?
No, just keep your hands washed. Don't cough on each other. We're overrun. Haven't seen flu yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
You just jinxed it. Let me tell you.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. So runny nose and cough, if you're hanging in there, try a little medicine, give it a little bit of time, see how it goes. High fever or anything significant, get checked out. And
real quick, what's the difference? What kind of injuries should you come to the urgent care for and not the ER and vice versa?
It's easier to say the ER. It's easier to go that way. So emergency, anything that if you're worried about your heart, chest pain, fluttering heartbeats, if you're worried you might be having a stroke, severe headache, neurologic symptoms, arms, legs, anything, severe abdominal pain, anything like that, you should go to the emergency room. We tend to not handle when we get that high of a thing. We like runny nose, coughs, sore throats, twisted ankles, minor lacerations, things like that. We'll take care of you. Anything major where you think there might be something serious going on, you're just delaying, the process. So.
The inevitable. Yep.
The inevitable. So.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Wheatie.
All right. Thank you.
I love these breakdowns. And hey, hopefully we can have you on for another episode sometime.
I would love it. So, and thank you, Phil. I'll talk to you again.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.